Camels are so obviously a made-up animal. Humans will believe any old rubbish.
I missed Ogden so much, and for the first month there was no letter at all. I took my place at college on the mainland without knowing how he was feeling. It was a shock how low it made me, even though I was working with flowers, my dream job. I threw myself into making friends and working as hard as I could. I wondered about him travelling the world, without me and without his sousaphone. What he was doing, how he was feeling. The letters started arriving, and it was amazing. Each one came with a penny from a different country. One from Valparaiso, another from Dakar. I wrote back and told Ogden about my course, trips to Kew Gardens, which were amazing. Then Ogden told me about his voyage, watching dolphins and flying fish, crossing the equator. Sometimes we were both lonely. We poured out our hearts to each other. In a funny way, I think the letters made us closer than ever. When he arrived in Christchurch, he'd send me flowers pressed in his letters. I sent him a shell from home, and then he sent me a New Zealand halfpenny. It was my favourite. On one side was the head of a Maori tiki. Ogden told me it was lucky. I came back to the island, and when my father died, I opened up my own florist shop on the quay. I tucked the halfpenny under the front step for luck, polished up Ogden's sousaphone and put it in the window. They both brought me luck, and the shop flourished. One day, Ogden showed up at the shop, completely out of the blue. He told me there was nowhere like Shelmerston, and no one like me. I was so thrilled to see him, I asked him to marry me there and then. He said yes.
The lure of Shelmerston. It always pulls people back when they try to move away. They were a lovely couple, Sally and Ogden.
I missed Ogden so much, and for the first month there was no letter at all.
I remember we was walking home from school, a bunch of us, and I told him everyone laughed. But I told sneaking past the big house. We reached the trees, out the next day we were kicking ourselves.
We were 14 when we started going out. Me and my friend Cassia had started a beach clean at the weekend, and Ogden turned up with his mate Godfrey. I had no idea Ogden liked me. He was the tallest in our year, and we all fancied him. By the time we reached the little cove at the north end of the beach, he'd asked me to come to a concert he was playing in. I said yes. We'd been going out for a few years when I applied to Floristry College on the mainland. I didn't tell Ogden. I didn't believe I'd get in, and didn't want him to think I was trying to get away from him. Ogden might have looked mature and confident, but he was a gentle soul, not nearly as sure of himself as he looked. But I did get in, and he was gutted. I felt terrible. I didn't want to hurt Ogden. He said he didn't mind, but I could see he was covering. My last week on Shelmerston was really hard. Every time I saw him, it felt so strained, and I couldn't sleep. Finally, on my last night, I made a decision. I would take an apprenticeship at the garden centre on the island instead, so we could stay together. It felt like the right thing to do. I would tell Ogden in the morning. But when I opened the door the next day, I found Ogden's sousaphone left on the doorstep. I was terrified. What did it mean? What had he done? I ran down to his house, my heart in my mouth. His mum, she never did like me, was a little bit smug. She told me Ogden had sailed off to New Zealand. He was headed to Christchurch, she said, and didn't know when he was coming back. Then she shut the door. I was more than a bit tearful, but, looking back, I think we both needed to have a bit of an adventure.
Yet one good thing about being dead, I'll never have to deal with counting change again.
Ah, yes. A very distinctive odour indeed. I reckon I can find him from this. Here I come, Ogden.
Oh, this feels so good. Terrific to see you, Morris. Oh, it's great to see you too, mate.
Have a stretch, Ogden. We have a question for you.
Sparky, owner of the very finest singing voice on the island. What can I do for you?
Well, it's about the custodian. We need a replacement.
Ah, yes. I've heard that volcano rumbling. Poor Aggie must be very tired. Yes, she is. We need a replacement. Oh, you want me to be the custodian? Well, I'm honored, but I can't. Are you sure? The island is in dire need. I know, and I sympathize, but Sally is the other half of me. I need to watch over her. Everything else may be changing, but she's my constant, and I'm hers. I need to go into the West with her when it's her time. Yes, I understand. You two always did have an enviable connection. We were very lucky to find each other. And I'm still lucky just to watch over her. Makes this place still feel a bit like home, even as it changes. So I'm going to stay. But listen, once you've found the custodian, come back and enjoy a sniff of that beer in the Camel with me, eh? Sure, Ogden. Well, see you around. Well, after all these years, Ogden still carries that torch for Sally. I wish I'd been so lucky. Things I should have done.
You were busy with the museum, Morris. And you did walks, and you did fetch, and belly rubs, and...
Yeah, all right, yes. I was very busy. Thank you for reminding me.
You did plenty. But now you need to find the next custodian.
Hey, how long has Aggie been custodian?
Oh, a little while now. You've met her, actually.
I have?
Well, her body, anyway. In the museum.
What? Her body? In the museum? Oh, wait!
That's right, Morris.
The Bog Lady. The Bog Lady of Shelmerston. Well, that's Aggie?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's her body, anyway. Her spirit is all around us, of course.
But Aggie is Bronze Age. 3,000 years. She's been custodian all that time?
Yep.
Wow. No wonder she's tired.
More tired every minute. We need to get to the next prospect. Greg Litherland, at the campsite.
Greg. Okay. The one part of the island I never spent much time at. I never cared for camping. Although we did find a lot of Bronze Age goods down here. Really fascinating bits and bobs. I reckon this was an important place once. And not just to shellers.
Oh, there's so many great smells here. Oh, and so many rabbits to chase. Stop it, Sparky, you have a job to do.
You know, I suppose I do like it better up here now I don't have to worry about combing all those burrs out of your fur. At least this part of Shelmerston isn't changing too much.
Yes. Now let's sniff out Greg.
Yeah, I always found Greg a bit difficult. That business with the owl of his.
He wasn't a bad guy at heart. Just liked animals a bit more than people, sometimes. Maybe. But who can blame him? Let's find some people who remembered him. Dig a little deeper.
Memories of Greg Litherland. Here we come.